Motion number 3, in order to defer costs of maintenance and upkeep on the assigned areas, an annual charge of $50 will be paid when the hold harmless agreement is signed and location assigned. That's pretty straightforward.
I'd like to suggest maybe upping that to $100. However, with $50 credit given for anybody that's also paying for a marina slip.
Administratively, Ray, what kind of nightmare would that open up?
440?
I just think that becomes kind of unwieldy to administer. I just think there's another. What are you trying to achieve with this? Is this a revenue generator or some other motivation?
Both. My original intention was $10, and it was basically just to get a hold on how many people we were affecting. My second thought, and the reason it's $50, is to pay for the trees and the mowing and cutting of the area involved. To pay for the tree we talked about, the blind. If you put $5 grand in the budget or something, you could. And
$1 grand, I believe.
well, that's why we need 50. That's why we need another $50.
I like the idea of the $100.
Flat $100?
If it's not a maintenance nightmare, I mean, 76 slips, probably 40 may park the boat down, but.
Well, I can tell you how many boats are, here's my answer to the question. I can tell you how many boats are parked on blocks, which would be people that have slips that don't have trailers, obviously, and it's about 15. So I talked to the fellow that parks mine. He says he's the only one that does it, and he says it's between 12 to 15 a year that he pulls out of the water and puts on cinder blocks. So that would only be maybe affecting 15 people.
You could have a handful,
And I'm one of them.
Not worth it then.
And I will point out that I'm one of them that would save $50, so maybe I should abstain on it. I just don't want
100. What's wrong with 100 then?
So you pay 4
The reason I want to say that is because once we set this bar, if we decide next year we find some off-campus location, you know, you're going to need 100 to pay for that, for the leasing or whatever we work out. So why not set the bar now?
I just wanted to start the conversation, but my feeling is we can justify $50 now because it's an ugly mess we need to straighten up. And if we do get a bigger, better place, it's going to be an investment that we can easily justify $100.
When we charge people to use that space, do we incur obligation to protect and secure their property?
No, there's not, they got a waiver, hold on.
That just diminishes your risk, but I don't see that there's a correlation there, John. I don't know why we look at it. You have an obligation, you're allowing them to store there without charging to provide security. You can argue that. I don't see it as a payment. And it makes an obligation part of the association.
I know,
As long as it's stated, it's for rental only. I don't know.
We're starting to nickel dime people to death up here.
Do you have experience with other properties you've worked out where they've charged to store RVs and such? I mean, maybe not boat
The
things,
experience
but
I've had with very large properties is that they don't allow any of it, any storage, because of the risks associated. Any storage, RVs, boats, anything.